Hi, my name is Jasmine Karisa. I am a daughter, a mother, a psychology graduate, and a sister to an autistic brother. Okay, so basically my family consists of my father, my mom, me, my elder sister, me, and my brother. Yeah, I think he was diagnosed around 3 years, and we started therapy for him, even though it's not really consistency, unfortunately. Okay, so actually he is 21 this year, so he was born in 2000. He's not really the verbal type of person. So actually, he understands all of the things that we're saying. Unfortunately, he has limited skills or capability to express his words. As in right now, he is already behaving very well and more independent. He's actually an adult, yeah, now a young adult. Actually, it's more towards a regression in terms of his verbal skills. As far as I can remember, he was already able to say a few words, also babbling, which sometimes autistic kids tend to not babbling at a certain age, but my brother actually babbled. I remember him picking up his phone toy and started saying hello at, I think, 2 years, but then he started to regress, not saying anything. Not wanting to be touched by other people, and then started to not seeing people in the eye. But when he is throwing a temper tantrum, it is that bad. He hurts himself. He can hurt me. He can hurt my mom. He rarely hurts people that he doesn't know. Okay, so when it comes to my brother, actually our memory is quite bittersweet, yeah. So unfortunately I cannot sugarcoat it, but I cannot say like it's all been a fairy tale with him. But my fondest memory of him is actually when we drove to his boarding school in Kudus. It was actually one of the hardest things that I had to do back then. So we decided, for his best of course, that he would need a boarding school in Kudus to be more independent. And I was first very against towards the idea because I cannot even imagine him being apart from my mother, from me, and being taken care of a group of strangers who don't even know him. And when we arrived at the place, he just sat there and accepting like this is where I had to be. Even though I was very heartbroken back then, but it was like I was very proud of him for being so brave. I think that the most misunderstood thing about autistic is that they cannot form a meaningful relationship or friendship because they tend to have difficulties again expressing their feelings, right? It makes people tend to isolate them, tends to not asking the, hey, do you want to hang with us? Because they think that you're not capable of communicating. We had several concerns with him going to public places because he would, yeah, like other autistic kids, my brother tends to throw a temper tantrum out of nowhere. Yeah, and that's what we are kind of nervous for, which limits his social capability, right? But I think if we started early, he would be more capable of maintaining his feelings towards this kind of environment, which is actually normal for us, right? So, yeah, I think if I could go back, I would treat him more normally. Like, I would ask him to mingle with us, to sit down with us, to communicate with, even with his own language, right? So, yeah, I think that's what I could, if that's what I could change, I would change that. I think the first expectation that they always have towards me is take care of your brother. Even when we didn't know that he has autistic, my mom always said like, you have to take care of your brother. I was 7 at the time. I was an elementary schooler. I didn't really know like how should I take care of this baby. But as he aged and as we know that he has special needs, at the time I kind of start to like, what can I do? Well, what can I do to ease my mom? Because again, my mom is a working mom. She has 3 kids, with 1 kid with special needs. So it really takes a lot of effort or energy. Actually, it's a very big burden to me. Not burden in a negative way, but it's a huge responsibility because I actually still don't know how I can take care of him fully. But again, we're preparing him by making him more independent. Actually, I struggled with that a lot because it was before he was born. I was already worried, so I asked my mom, like, "Are you still gonna take care of me if the baby's born?" And I remember my mom saying, "Nothing's gonna change. Nothing's gonna change." And when we found out that he is an autistic, I feel very betrayed by that statement. Like, it's not my mom's fault because again, who knows that we're gonna be given with an autistic brother, right? But again, I was like, you promised me that nothing would change. And then I lost all the attention that I was already handed back then. Actually, it takes a lot of my mom especially attention towards him. And I was starting to feel neglected. But then, I acted out sometimes. I throw like almost like a tantrum itself, like, you don't care about me, you always think about my brother. Even when I already, I think already work, like in my adult life, I sometimes still feel that. There was a period where I resent my brother, like, why do you have to be this way? Why do you have to make my life so hard? Fortunately, I get the chance to study about the spectrum itself, about autistic. And what I get is that they don't ask to be born as an autistic. And it's very hard for them too. It's even the hardest for them. So yeah, I guess it kind of made me understand that a little better. So I don't blame anyone anymore because I already understand that. So it's just something that we need to sacrifice, actually. I think I would say progressing is more right. Even though I don't feel any feeling towards him anymore. Sometimes I still, what do we call it? I'm quite envious when I see a sister and a brother hanging out. Like, why cannot I have that? You know, like, I cannot have my brother introduce him to my boyfriend and then they would hang around. I will never have that. That take a while for me to accept. But again, I guess, it's just about accepting, see. Accepting his condition and working on it, I guess, because this is something that we need to work on, not just let him be, because he himself is miserable with the current state, right? So I guess that's it. They're not a freak. They're not a mentally retarded people. Actually, a lot of autistic people are very smart, very clever. But again, they're different. But different doesn't mean bad. So you don't have to be very alerted towards them. You don't have to be scared of them. I guess if you see an autistic throwing a temper tantrum, if you cannot help, at least don't stare. Because it's not only hard for the autistic kid, it's hard for the people who takes care of the autistic kid, right? Because it makes the autistic kid more nervous. Of course, we as the caregiver feel like judged at a certain period, right? Like even sometimes people blame the family for having an autistic kid. Do not outcast the autistic kid because they're not as scary as you think they are, and they're not the mentally retarded kids.